What is the point of even learning emotional intelligence? How can it better your life? Now, if you understand emotional intelligence, you can make more money because you have the emotional intelligence as well as the financial intelligence to make proper decisions. Not only that, you can survive better. You understand where to place yourself in situations, where you stand in the pyramid of your tribe. At work, you would realize if you actually got the promotion, if it was coming to you, or if it was not. And in your love life, you would stop investing time in people who will not invest into you. Emotional intelligence will pay you back so many ways. You understand why you do the things that you do, and also the people around you. And with that benefit, you can influence who? Who could you influence? Yourself, that's right. And also the people around you. You can influence them as well, so everybody has better outcomes. It's really a situation you can't lose. You make everything a win-win. So in today's video, I want to give you the power in your hand so you can take emotional intelligence and change your life forever. Get the results right away. Let's kick it into gear. Have you ever had a situation where you were working, for example, and trying to get a promotion at work, and you have this great relationship with your boss, you think that it's working out pretty well, you're showing initiative, you're putting in extra hours, and you're doing all the things that you think need to be done. And it's you going for this promotion and somebody else in your company or organization. Now, there's no way this other person in the company is going to get it. My immediate manager has said that I'm a good fit for it. All of a sudden, a few weeks go by and you're saying, hey, can I get that interview for this promotion? The manager's like, yeah, sure, it'll come. You're like, all right, sweet, because you're doing all the work. Meanwhile, the manager's actually putting additional work on you, okay? So you're actually doing more work now than you did before, maybe some additional tasks, some responsibilities. And you ask your manager again, hey, can I get that interview promotion a month later? Yeah, we'll get it really soon. And then all of a sudden, in a company bulletin, in a company email, you finally hear that somebody else, your competitor, person in the organization, got the job. Now, what's going on there? What's happening? Well, you couldn't watch the movement. You didn't understand that the word service or lip service that your manager did was not backed up by any action. Even though they made a verbal commitment, you got to watch and say, what are they doing, their behaviors? Behaviors will always tell you more. It's like the old saying, actions speak louder than words, right? When you understand the behaviors, you see the behaviors as small little shifts, you would say, hey, I'm actually not going to get this job. So what did it come down to? Did it come down to your manager saying, yes, you have a good chance at it? Did it come down to you even doing more work? Think of how frustrating that was. You went from paying 40 hours a week down to like 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week in additional time, hard-earned energy. What else could you have done with that time? How frustrating is it to you, right? Now all of a sudden that time is gone. You can't get it back. The energy expelled is gone. You can't get it back. You could have used that energy for additional projects. You can't do that now because time is gone. We're all getting a little older every day. And you trusted what your manager said. But the movement would have told you something different. Right now, in hindsight, everything is 20/20. You're like looking back at it, you're like, of course, you know, I should have known better, but you really couldn't have, right? That's where wisdom comes down to, watching the behaviors of people. Now that requires emotional intelligence to separate yourself from small situations and understand how they're actually happening in front of you, how they're playing out. I'll give you another one, okay? Let's say you meet somebody, you want to be your partner in a romantic situation, and now that partner says to you, you don't really care. And you try everything to show that person that you care. Maybe you fly them out with you somewhere to like a little vacation for a 2-hour flight to somewhere on the weekend. Maybe you take the person to a great, beautiful, extravagant dinner with a steak and vegetables and potatoes, and you think that's gonna make the difference. Maybe you call them whenever they're sad or they're sick, you think that's gonna make the difference. You're doing everything within your heart and your capability to let them know that you care. And then what happens a little bit later? That person says to you, hey, you know what? I just don't feel like you care. And you're like, oh, what more can I do? What more can I say? What kind of effort could I make? Now, this person could have a particular love language. They need to have quality time. You kind of already did that. They could maybe need to have gifts as their love language. You've kind of given a few gifts already. They can maybe need acts of devotion or acts of service where you have potentially showed that you really, really cared about them. You did something that was extravagant, right? The flying out, maybe that's a big act. Or it could be physical touch. Hopefully you've given that already. I'm not going to include that in here, but hopefully you have. So you've done all the things in the love languages that you can think of, even though I think there's a bit more. You've done all you could think of. For whatever reason, still it wasn't enough. The person comes back to you a few weeks later and says, oh, you don't care about me. You're like, damn, what more could I do? And you spend all of your time, tons of time, hours and hours daily. Not only that, but weeks in a relationship, and you spend financial investments. Now, I'm not just making this up. This has happened to me multiple times. I'm telling you this from experience. I've been on the other side of this, where I've done this exact same thing. In fact, thousands of dollars in several relationships that went nowhere. Okay, and so much time, weeks and weeks and months in toxic situations. And then I realized at the end of it, that this person couldn't accept love. They just couldn't appreciate it. They literally had blocks that were there of taking love. Maybe they felt like they didn't deserve it. They had a bad upbringing. Maybe they're used to very destructive relationships themselves. So a relationship that's going well doesn't feel very good. They need to be like dramatic and angry all the time. The fights make them turned on, in fact. So I wasted so much time and energy and emotional capital I could have invested into myself, into projects. I always wanted to try to do a triathlon. I never did it. I trained for it, but I didn't do it. I could have done all the energy, that emotional capital into triathlon. And financially, what could I have done with the thousands of dollars? I don't know, I could have bought some more music gear, done more music production. I could have done that. But I didn't either because I invested all this energy into the wrong person. I invested capital into the wrong person. Now, if I had emotional intelligence to realize that, I could have said, wow, this is totally different. This is not really how it's happening, right? First of all, again, watch the movement. That plays here. It's a key phrase. Let's highlight that again. Watch the movement. But also realizing that the person wasn't able to receive love. And no matter what I did, my behaviors couldn't make them feel what they needed to feel. Last final situation here, let's look at how emotional intelligence would make you money and what are the financial opportunities you're missing in your life because of emotional intelligence. Perfect example here, let's flip it on the other side and look at somebody who's homeless. Now I know people that are homeless sometimes have mental issues and challenges and there's social things that are happening. I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about somebody who just chooses to be homeless. So sometimes that person will come to you and ask you for money. Now what are the deciding factors that make you give it to them? Is it how they dress? Is it the way they smell? Is it the voice tone, right? Is it sometimes the guy's like, hey, can I get some change? You just basically ignore it, right? Maybe it's the voice tone. But what I found is I tend to give money to people that have some value to give me. Now that sounds very selfish, but we're all doing it. You're watching this video so you can yourself get value. So I'll give money to somebody usually that gives value. Now what does it look like? The guy opens the door. Because he's making the effort to even open the door, you give him a quarter or you give him $1 or you give him €1, whatever it is. What about somebody who makes the effort to make a funny sign? At least there's a joke. Tell me a joke if you want my money financially. That's how commerce works. Tell me a joke, man. Make me laugh. We're all experiencing pain. Make me laugh at my pain. Or even better yet, one time I was in Chicago and I saw a guy that had 10 pencils. Now you can go to a store and buy 10 pencils for about $1. But he was taking 10 pencils from the dollar store and he's selling them each for $1. So what did he do? He took $1, he capitalized it, he made it into commerce, he made $1 into $10 by selling 10 different pencils. And people were just buying these things like crazy on the street. Do we actually need a pencil? No, not really. But the guy had the emotional intelligence to understand that if I want something, I have to give something. Nothing is for free, right? So what are the financial opportunities that you're missing in your life where you could be making money, doing what you love, giving to other people, but you don't have the intelligence to understand that they have to benefit from it? I believe that if you're able to solve somebody's problem, whatever the problem may be, you could help somebody and they'd be willing to pay for it. Think of the problems that you could solve for other people, not just expecting opportunities to come your way. What about at your work, for example? Let's go back to that. You want a promotion, okay, but can you solve the problem of the person who's giving the promotion? Can you solve their problems? Can you solve the problems within the organization to deserve more income? All those things go together, okay? You gotta understand that. So what I want you to do is go to the comment section down below and write very specifically, what are the opportunities you're thinking that you could be better at in life if you had emotional intelligence? Where are you missing it, right? Where are the areas that you're struggling? You feel like there's something going on, but you don't understand what you're missing. Just write it down in the comment section down below. For everybody who does that, I will definitely respond, okay? I would promise to respond in the first 24 hours of this video going up. I'll respond to all those comments about that particular point. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now. I can feel it. I can feel it through the energy of the camera. I can feel that you haven't done it yet. And I'm sad for you. Your friends are sad for you. Everybody's sad for you. Do it. Get it over with. Be a great decision. Great job from watching. And as always, keep in touch and don't be a stranger. Cheers.